Hello, welcome back to our course, Training and Development. And now we are on the third chapter of our discussion. And this is about organizational learning, motivation, and performance. So join me as we dig deeper this topic. But before that, we have to know first what is learning organization. So according to Peter Senge, learning organization or learning organizations are organizations where people continually expand their capacity to create the results they truly desire, where new and expansive patterns of thinking are nurtured, where collective aspiration is set free, and where people are continually learning to see the whole together. So a learning organization is a company or a group of uh, people in the same institution wherein the employees are encouraged to gain more knowledge and apply this knowledge to whatever goals they are desiring. So, ang target natin dito sa organization na to ay matuto yung mga empleyado, magkaroon sila ng new way of perceiving things, mas maging um, mas maging matalino sila sa pag-iisip, mas mabilis silang mag-decide na tama, and of course, they are given the freedom to provide insights, to provide suggestions, and a learning organization is an organization where where there is a culture of learning. Everyone is really encouraged to learn more. And of course, pagka natuto yung mga empleyado, the benefit will be returned to the organization itself. Okay? Another definition of learning organization, according to Pedler, Burgoyne, and Boydell, is that the learning company is a vision of what might be possible. It is not brought about simply by training individuals. It can only happen as a result of learning at the whole organization level. A learning company is an organization that facilitates the learning of all its members and continuously transforms itself. Okay, so yung target daw ng lahat ng organization is to become a learning organization or a learning company. Bakit? Kasi once na yung company nyo ay learning company, mayroong growth mindset yung mga empleyado. Ibig sabihin, not everyone is contented of what he knows. He will explore more. At hindi lang training yung makapagbibigay nun sa mga empleyado, but also it can happen because of the result of learning. Pagka may learning opportunities na binibigay sa mga empleyado, it will impact the whole organization or the entire organization. So, dapat yung isang learning organization, nagfa-facilitate siya ng learning o nagpo-provide siya ng opportunity sa mga empleyado to learn more. And of course, that learning or those knowledge, skills, and abilities being gained by the employees through learning opportunities or initiatives could help transform the employees themselves, but also not only the employees, but also the organization. So ayan yung target natin, yung mga organizations natin to become learning organizations or learning company. Lastly, from Watkins and Marsick, for them, learning organizations are characterized by total employee involvement in a process of collaboratively conducted, collectively accountable change directed towards shared values or principles. So, yung isang organization naman na learning organization, ang importante naman dito is yung employee involvement or engagement ng mga employees to enhance the process, to enhance the organization, to enhance the system, to collaborate with one another. And the sense of accountability is there that everyone should do his or her task that could contribute to the goal and the mission of the organization. And of course, everyone should be open to changes and everyone should be accepting that of the differences of every employee, and dapat merong isang shared or may common values or principles wherein ayun yung magdadirect on how employees would do certain task or certain job. Ayun yung magiging guiding principle nila. Okay? So much for learning organizations. Ano ba, or additional information for learning organizations is that, ano ba dapat yung ginagawa ng mga learning organizations na to for them to be successful? So according to Kirka, a learning organization should provide continuous learning opportunities. So dapat hindi lang natatapos sa training na once a year. It has to be continuous. Dapat developmental siya. Okay, may progress yung learning. Use learning to reach their goals. Ayan, with the aid of learning, it can help the employees to reach their goals. Link individuals' performance with organizational performance. Of course, every individual's performance would really impact the organizational performance. So dapat yung isang learning organization, na-align niya yung individual performance. Dapat yung na-assign na task sa bawat empleyado ay related or something that could contribute to the organizational performance. Also, it has to foster inquiry and dialogue, making it safe for people to share openly and take risk. Ito yung problema sa ibang organizations because there's no open communication and some employees were not given the opportunity to speak up their minds, to share something. Pagka nag-suggest ka, ang isipin sa'yo, kalaban ka na agad, or you're not following your heads or the management. Pero yung isang learning organization, kasi we have to admit na not every decision being done by the top management is the best decision or is the best solution for the organization. And we can learn also from those employees na na hindi nawala sa top management because they are those who are exposed or they are those who are experiencing the real transactions or the real processes, or of course they have the ability or they are capable of interacting with the customers, so first hand experience yung naibibigay nila, and they can of course provide information and ideas from their experiences. A learning organization also embraces creative tension as a source of energy and renewal. So if there's a tension, we make it a source of energy and renewal. Kung yung mga pressure, yung mga conflicts, instead of taking it personally, they use it to be more energetic, to think creatively, and to solve the problems in the organization strategically. And the learning organization should continuously be aware of and interact with their environment. That's very important. You have to know the trends, you have to know what's going on in the environment or what's going on in the organization so that you could easily pinpoint the root cause of every problem and you could address them properly and strategically. And of course, when you are aware of what's happening around you, you can easily identify future threats. Okay? So that's from Kirka. According to Peter Senge naman, yung learning organization, ang ginagawa nila is to provide personal mastery. They provide team learning. They have shared visions. They uses mental models and they use systems thinking. Okay? So, yung learning organization, dapat nagpo-provide sila ng opportunity and nagbibigay sila ng chance sa mga empleyado na ma-master yung kanilang task talaga through training, through coaching, through job shadowing, OJTs, kung maraming methodologies yung pwedeng gamitin para yung mga employees ay ma-master nila yung kanilang trabaho. And of course, yung team learning na hindi lang isang empleyado yung natututo but everyone is learning from one another. Importante yon na may sharing ng learning sa team and sa buong organization. Shared vision, ayun. Yung shared vision, it has to be cascaded to all employees. Dapat isa yung vision para walang naiiwan at lahat malinaw sa kanila yung target at malinaw na yung dapat ginagawa nila would really contribute to the achievement of this vision. Mental models, okay? So ano ba yung mental models na sinasabi natin? So yung mental models na tinatawag natin, it's actually how we understand the world. So, itong mental models na to, this helps employees or people to simplify yung complexity and mas nabibigyan nila ng mas naiintindihan nila yung complexities ng bawat task sa organization, yung ginagawa sa organization. Ayan. And mas nagiging madali yung pag-solve ng problems. Yung systems thinking naman, ito naman yung approach um, to integrate yung belief na yung component parts ng system will actually act differently when isolated from the system's environment or other parts of the system. So it is particularly useful in addressing complex or wicked problems situations. Okay, so according to Garvin, Edmondson, and Gino, learning organizations are supportive to the learning environment, and they have concrete learning practices and processes, and the leadership that encourages and reinforces learning. Okay, so yung isang learning organization, may supportive environment siya. Kumbaga yung bawat empleyado, they help one another, they serve as backup. So kung wala yung isa, since learning organization siya, everyone is capable to at least do the tasks assigned in the team. So aware sila sa ginagawa ng mga kasamahan nila. Pag wala yung isa na nape-perform pa rin nila yung yung task at hindi na hamper yung yung operations. Number 2, sa learning organization, malinaw yung practices and processes nila. Clear at madaling sundan, very systematic sa kanila. So, madali para sa kanila na ma-perform yung mga task, mas mabilis na gagawa yung mga trabaho. And of course, every leader in the organization encourages and reinforces learning. They help and support their employees to learn more. They provide insight, they provide feedback, they provide coaching and mentoring so that employees could perform their tasks effectively and efficiently. And with that, we have to understand learning and organizational learning because we want to have a learning organization. So it's very vital, it's very important for us to understand what is learning and what is organizational learning. Since we talked about we just recently talked about that a learning organization foster organizational learning. Okay? So learning is the process of obtaining knowledge and skills that engage in one's change of behavior. So, sa learning, hindi ka lang natututo, hindi ka lang nag-obtain or na kakagain ng knowledge and skills, but it could also engage a person to change his or her behavior. So, dapat may changes in terms of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Pagka walang nag-change sa attitude mo, hindi full yung learning. Dapat mas sumisipag tayo, mas nagiging engaged tayo sa organization, mas nabavalue natin yung blessings, gano'n. So that's learning. So according to this principle, there are actually 5 learning outcomes. So, nahati sila sa tatlong categories. So, meron tayong cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. Under ng cognitive domain ay intellectual skills, cognitive strategy, verbal and verbal information. Itong tatlo na to, since cognitive, so this has to deal with the thought process, problem solving. Yung intellectual skills naman, this involves procedural knowledge o kung paano gagawin yung mga bagay. And so may mga different levels to yung intellectual skills such as discrimination, concrete concept, defined concept, rule, and problem solving. So, ayun nga. With the help of intellectual skills, nadi-differentiate natin yung objects, yan in terms of its characteristics, mas na-identify natin yung objects, saan ba siya kabilang na group, based on the characteristics, the features, ayan, mas na iintindihan natin yung mga bagay, mas nadidefine natin yung concept, ayan, mas nakakasunod tayo of the rules, halimbawa sa multiplication or addition, yan, may mga rules tayo na pina-follow. And ayan yung mga nagiging natin through, ayan yung mga nagiging natin na included sa intellectual skills. Yung cognitive strategy naman, another type siya ng intellectual skills for learning and thinking. So, itong strategy na to is based on, it can include rehearsal. So, inuulit-ulit, ina-underline, kinokopya natin yung materials, with that, mas na-elaborate natin yung mga information through paraphrasing, nakakapag-summarize tayo, nakakapag-take down tayo ng notes. So, ayun yung sa cognitive strategy. While in verbal information naman, it is concerned with the declarative knowledge. So, example nun is yung facts, yung information, yung names, places. So, para mas ma-aid natin yung learning sa verbal information, yung mga teachers or yung mga trainers sa isang organization, they teach students on how to use mnemonic techniques. Halimbawa, yung gagawa ka ng acronym, yung may patterns ka na ginagawa para mas madali mong matandaan, mas ma-retain yung yung mga pinag-aaralan, yung natututunan natin for us to have learning, to make learning more memorable and meaningful. Okay? Next, under ng psychomotor is the motor skills. So psychomotor, so ito naman based on movements. So mas natututo, or ito naman ang target naman ito is for the employees to learn through performance. So ginagawa siya mismo. Parang halimbawa, pag sa factories kunwari or manufacturing industry, so nag-assemble talaga, pinapakita kung paano nag-assemble, and the opportunities given to the employees, the opportunities are also given to the employees wherein they can experience yung mismong pag-assemble ng mga items. Okay, attitude naman is under affective. So ito naman internal state naman kasi yung dinidevelop dito. So, this is a complex human state. However, this can still be measured by observing yung choice, yung actions ng isang tao. And normally, yung measurement ng attitude is actually seen or being evaluated through self-reported questionnaire. Ayan. Or sometimes ginagamitan siya ng Likert scale na may open-ended na questions. Okay? Next, ano ba yung goal or target ng organizational learning? Of course, yung organizational learning kasi is the process of creating, sharing, diffusing, and applying knowledge. So, it's not enough that a person or an individual or an employee gains knowledge, but it has to be converted into skills and abilities. It has to be practiced. It has to be mastered. So, dapat na a-apply yung natutunan. Hindi lang basta natututo, pero nagkakaroon ng application. Right? And then, just like the training cycle, yung learning cycle naman, what we will use also in this class is ADDIE. Okay, so ito yung one form of mnemonics. Okay, so ginagamitan ng acronym para mas mabilis matandaan. Okay, for you to easily remember the learning cycles, gagamitin natin ulit yung acronym na ADDIE. A stands for Assessment of Learning Needs. So we have to figure out ano ba yung needs ng mga employees? Ano ba specifically yung needs ng employees? And who among these employees should undergo learning interventions? And then we design the learning programs, we develop the learning programs, and then we implement, of course, the learning program that we have designed and developed. And lastly, we have to evaluate the learning program if it is successful or if it really addresses the needs of the employees. Again, in learning cycle, we use the design ADDIE or the ADDIE model. Aside from that, importante din na we are preconditioned to learn. For you to easily learn and for you to really grasp the knowledge or the information that you have to acquire during the training program or the learning program, importante itong 6 A's of learning. Okay, number 1 is attitude. Yan. Okay, so for you to learn easily at mas madali mong maintindihan yung mga bagay-bagay, importante na positive yung attitude mo. Ikaw mismo, you are eager to learn. Ikaw mismo, you are hungry and thirsty for learning. Very important siya sa isang tao kasi pagka hindi siya interested dun sa isang topic, pagka tinatamad siya, it influences, it impacts yung learning process. Kasi wala kang gana, kasi masama yung pakiramdam mo, kasi masama yung loob mo ngayon, or dahil kaaway mo yung nagtuturo o hindi mo feel yung trainer, hindi ka na makikinig. So sayang, namimiss natin yung opportunity to learn because of our attitude. So importante when you are attending learning interventions or programs, you have to have positive attitude. You need to have positive attitude for you to easily learn and grasp the required learning and information and knowledge. Right? Importante din yung attendance. Dapat present ka. Diba? Kasi ang hirap nun na nagko-conduct ng learning tapos wala ka, paalis-alis ka or late ka, namimiss mo na yung mga importanteng parts. So, importante na you are there. Kasi pag nandun ka at available ka, easier for you to, of course, na naiintindihan mong mabuti kasi mas nakikita mo, mas experience mo yung learning program. At the same time, you could also ask or raise your questions just in case you don't understand a specific topic or a specific part of the training program. So you can easily raise your questions and ask and inquire the trainer or the learning provider. All right, and the next one is active participation. So, active participation, importante na you are there sa attendance, you are there and you participate. Kasi the more that you participate, the more that you do it, the more that you are involved, the easier for you to retain the information. Hindi lang sapat na nandun ka, dapat engage ka, involve ka, nandun ka, nakikipag-participate ka para mas madali mong matandaan. May memories na, ano nga ba yung ginawa namin doon? Ito yung topic namin, ito yung way na, ito nga yung ito yung sumagot ako ng ganyan or may activity kami na ginawa. Mas madali mong matatandaan yon because of the experience that you have during the learning process or the learning interventions. And next, dapat pag natuto tayo, i-apply natin. Importante na nagagamit. Sabi nga natin, kailangan ng practice. Pagka yung isang learning or information na gain mo pero hindi mo siya ginagamit, ang tendency is makakalimutan natin. So, it's very important that we apply whatever we learn. And next is adaptation. Yung adaptation is you're able to gain the knowledge and you know its importance and you know when to use it, how to use it, where to use it. So that's adaptation. Alam mo kung kailan mo siya gagamitin, alam mo kung paano mo siya gagamitin. Hindi lang sapat na apply, pero dapat tama din yung timing ng paggamit mo, tama yung venue na gagamitin mo siya. Okay? And lastly is AHA. Very important din na actually it can also coincide with attitude. Pero yung AHA is setting yourself na pag nasa learning, umattend ka ng isang learning program or learning intervention, dapat sineset mo yung mind mo and yung heart mo na meron akong matututunan dito and that you are excited for learning, na may madidiscover ka. Importante yun na excited ka na matuto at open ka din sa matututunan. Kasi pag walang aha moment, sayang na, ay wala akong na-discover dito. Kasi alam ko na yan lahat. Pagka ganun yung mindset natin, wala talaga tayong matututunan. So, dapat open tayo for new discoveries, open tayo for new learning. So, these are the 6 A's of learning. Ayun, 6 A's of learning. So, mnemonic din siya, may pattern din siya, puro A siya, para mas madali natin matandaan. Sige nga, let's see. Ano ba yung 6 A's of learning? Yan. So, we have attitude, attendance, active participation, application, adaptation, and mas madali siyang ma-enumerate kasi may pattern, puro letter A. Okay? So, meron din tayong conditions of the learning environment. So, binigyan ko din siya ng acronym at ng pattern para mas madaling matandaan. Okay, ano ba dapat yung condition ng learning environment? So, and ano ba yung challenges or issues na ano natin, kinakaharap natin sa learning environment? So, yung learning environment is yung venue, yung place kung saan kino-conduct yung learning. Or it can be in your office, it can be at home since most of the employees nowadays are doing online classes, work from home, and then students are doing online classes. So, ano ba yung mga issues? Paano ba natin to ma-address din? And ano ba yung mga factors sa learning? So, una is, binigyan ko nga siya ng in-arrange ko siya wherein my pattern para easier din yung retention and recall. So, mag-work. So, for you to learn, you have to work harder. The motivation should be coming also from the individual himself. At kailangan mong mag-work hard to learn. Hindi lang basta ibibigay pagka nagturo na, okay na yon. You also have to do your part. You have to read, you have to research, you have to study in advance. Okay? So, mass versus spaced practice. Ano ba ito? So, para daw mas madaling matuto, you have to identify first, ano ba yung mas okay? Yung must ba? Yung isang bagsakan ba siya? Maramihang learning? Or yung spaced practice na bawat empleyado may certain topic, tapos dun sa pagitan ng bawat topic, may exercises, may mga activities na gagawin para mas madaling matutunan yung specific topic. May pahinga, may breaks in between. Halimbawa, yung isang learning program ay 1 week muna, tapos after a day, may pahinga muna, or may task na gagawin lang, and then another week, yung kasunod na learning. Kasi pag isang bagsakan, kunwari, isang buong buwan, tapos walang break, na-overload tayo ng information, and sometimes it's harder to understand and to absorb the learning. So, importante din na nasa-set natin yung attention ng mga ng mga participants natin. So, importante na walang distractions, yung kunwari nasa face-to-face talaga tayo na learning, dapat yung ventilation, hindi masyadong malamig yung venue, kasi baka mamaya nanginginig na yung mga participants natin, hindi na sila natututo kasi ang focus na nila is kung paano makalabas dahil sobrang lamig or sobrang init naman, or phone lang yung mga learner, hindi natin na monitor. Kasi pagka may mga distractions at wala yung focus or yung attention dun sa learning, mahirap talaga ma-acquire yung required learning na kailangan. Okay? Also, dapat nasiset yung goals. Kailangan din talaga na yung mga empleyado, alam din nila ano ba yung target natin para mas malinaw sa kanila kung ano yung expectations din nila sa learning, at sila din mismo, ano yung expectations sa kanila nung trainer or nung learning provider. Yan. Okay, so isa din sa mga issues is kung whole ba or part learning. Kailangan ba isang buo na matututunan lahat agad yung training modules o yung programs, or kailangan parte-parte lang muna? So, chunk lang muna yung kailangan matutunan. Halimbawa, part 1 muna or part 2. Okay? Kaya sa pag-assemble ng product, mga ganon. Paano ba ito lulutuin muna kunwari, or paano ba ito ipapack? So, hinahati-hati muna siya into chunks or into parts. Okay? Overlearning. Ito yung overlearning, natutunan mo na pero pinapractice mo pa rin siya ng pinapractice. Kasi the more that you overlearn, the more that you become expert, then mas na-develop yung mastery of the subject or mastery of the topic or mastery of the task. So, importante na ino-overlearn, natutunan mo siya ng natutunan, paulit-ulit mong ginagawa. Minsan nga kahit paulit-ulit mo nang ginagawa because you are too confident or too familiar, nandun na yung familiarity, nagkakamali pa rin eh. So, very vital yun, lalo na kung yung trabaho na ginagawa mo is a matter of life and death. Halimbawa, driver ka, di ba? Bawal ka magkamali sa pagdadrive kasi pag nagkamali ka, at stake yung life mo at yung mga pasahero. Kunwari sa yung mga pilot, di ba? Yun, doctor. Hindi naman pwedeng mag-practice lang muna o testing lang muna natin if this works. Tignan natin, hatiin natin muna tong kidney mo or bawasan muna natin tong kidney mo tapos tignan natin. Hindi eh. Dapat accurate eh. Dapat master talaga. So overlearning will help an employee to really master a specific task or job. And then retention, ayun. Mas madali ngang na-retain yung yung information pagka mismong empleyado yung gumagawa, na-experience niya yung trabaho. At the same time, may mga materials na pinoprovide sa learning program na ginagawa or during learning. Halimbawa, yung mga visual aids, ayan, or may mga handouts. It can help the employees or the learners to retain or may notes sila, ganyan, nakakapag-take notes sila, importante yon. Okay, and lastly, yung knowledge of results. Importante din for the employees na alam nila yung results ng performance nila or ng learning. So, dapat nabibigyan ng feedback or ng evaluation na, teka lang, medyo hindi mo pa ito gamay, kailangan mo pa itong pag-aralan, ganyan. So, importante yun para alam din ng empleyado ano pa yung ifo-focus niya dun sa learning process. Okay, and of course, mas mabibigyan natin ng support yung specific area kung saan siya medyo mahina pa na kailangan ng improvement. Okay, and of course, motivation is very important for learning. You have to ensure that employees are motivated to learn. Kasi pagka hindi mo na motivate yung employees or yung empleyado mismo, hindi sila motivated for learning, ang hirap, kahit madali lang yung topic, mahirap ituro at mahirap maibigay sa kanila yung required na KSA. So, paano ba natin may ensure na motivated yung employees? So, we have to make sure of employee self-efficacy. Dapat sila mismo naniniwala sila sa sarili nilang kakayahan na kaya nilang matutunan yung task or yung job. They have to consider also the benefits of training. Dapat aware yung mga employees. Ano ba yung benefits ng training para sa kanila? Ano ba yung what's in it for me? Ay ano ngayon kung matutunan ko to? Paano ba ito makakatulong sa work ko, sa personal life ko, ganyan. And employees should be aware of their training needs, career interests, and goals. So, dapat na-align. Sabi nga natin kaya nagko-conduct tayo ng training needs analysis para yung mga employees, they are aware na they have to undergo this specific training because it's your training need. And it can help you grow in terms of your career, and it can also help the organization to reach its goals. And of course, your personal goals as employees. All right. Employees should also comprehend working environment characteristics. Dapat mas naiintindihan nila kung bakit dito ginagawa. And importante na involve sila sa environment na mayroong support na nanggagaling sa mga co-employees nila. Alright, dapat nabibigyan din ng opportunity or ng venue to practice whatever the employee has learned. So, dapat may yung environment nga. Dapat yung environment is conducive for learning. Environment is helpful na makapag-practice, magawa yung mga task. And of course, ma-encourage din yung mga employees na mabigyan ng feedback. Lalo na kung may mga co-trainees sila, magbibigay sila ng feedback sa isa't isa. And then, nakakapag-share sila ng experiences nila, na-acknowledge din kung saan ba magagamit yung training, and lastly, nakakapag-provide ng necessary training content. Okay? And lastly, for the employees to be motivated, dapat ensure din yung basic skill levels. Dapat alam natin ano ba yung nagawa ba or ano ba yung mga prerequisites dito at meron na ba yung necessary prerequisite skills yung mga employees bago natin i-conduct yung learning. Kasi baka mamaya hindi pa nila alam yung basic skills doon tapos ituturuan mo sila ng technical or ng advanced, mas mahihirapan yung mga learners to acquire yung learning and knowledge, skills, and attitudes and abilities na ituturo mo. So, kailangan alam ng mga employees nasaan ba sila, ano ba yung skills level nila, at fit ba yon dun sa learning na ibibigay sa kanila. Okay? And Yan. So, for learning to be effective, importante din na magamit ng mga social learning theories na to and training para mas madali nilang ma-acquire yung knowledge, skills, and attitudes na importante para sa work nila. So, motivation, yun nga, kanina na banggit na natin na employees should be motivated for them to learn easily. And yung motivation actually comes from the word movere. So, this means move. You have to provide the employees on how to move for them to learn. Dapat magkaroon sila ng initiative, ng eagerness, ma-ignite yung fire nila to be really motivated to learn, na nandun yung interest nila na kailangan ko itong matutunan because it is beneficial not only for myself but also for the organization and have to do it. Ayun. So that ma-encourage natin yung mga employees, ma-motivate natin sila. And of course, ano natin na magkaroon ng focus, yung attention, importante din yan eh. Sa when you provide training, ano yung techniques mo para makuha mo yung attention ng mga learners mo? Ano yung, halimbawa may mga natutulog na, anong gagawin natin para makuha pa rin natin yung, yung attention nila? And this is a challenge also, lalo na ngayon sa online learning, ang hirap makuha yung attention ng mga tao, lalo na kasi hindi kayo nakikita or most of the time nga, yung iba hindi nagka-camera during online class, so hindi namin monitor. Baka yung iba natutulog na pala, hindi na pala attentive, hindi na pala nakafocus. So sayang yung opportunity to learn. So importante yun na alam din natin na attentive pa at masaset natin yung attention ng mga learners. And then yung retention, yun nga, na-aid dapat natin na mas matuto through our methodologies. So, yung mga learners naman, they also have to identify what methodology works for them and let the trainers know ano ba yung effective sa kanila para makapag-adjust, ma-meet halfway, para yung way ng pagtuturo at yung paraan ng pag-acquire ng knowledge ay fit dun sa learning style na gusto ng learner para mas madali yung pag-retain ng learning. And syempre kailangan din ng practice. Importante yung practice sa retention eh. The more na napapractice, the more na mas nare-retain yung information. So dapat may mga activities. Kaya pag kayo mga professors nyo may pinapagawang activities, huwag kayong magalit kasi this is their way for you to retain the knowledge that you have acquired. Kasi pagka walang ganun, pagka hindi mo napapractice, useless lang siya at hindi mo naman pala siya gagamitin. Diba? And lastly, ay yung behavioral reproduction. So, this is in line with the retention kasi para nga ma-retain, kailangan ng practice. And sa behavioral reproduction, importante yung practice para mas manifest yung required na behavior, yung target natin na behavior, dapat pinapractice inuulit ng inuulit. Sabi nga nila, yung habit daw ay na-form when you consecutively do or consistently do a specific task for 21 days. So, ma-form yung isang habit. So, kailangan pa ulit-ulit. So, for you to reproduce also the behavior, yung required behavior para magawa yung job, kailangan pa ulit-ulitin mo din siya. Yeah. And lastly, we also have to consider adult learning principles for the learning of the individuals or employees. You have to understand that adults have a higher sense of self-direction and motivation. So, yung empleyado dapat alam nila yung reason kung bakit nila ginagawa. At sila mismo, parang meron na silang free will and to self-direct themselves and to be motivated. So, as learning provider or a trainer, you just have to ignite this motivation para mas magkaroon sila ng eagerness to learn. Adults use their life experience to facilitate learning. Ayun eh. Mas experiential yung learning for adults. Adults are focused in achieving goals. Adults need to know how the information is relevant. Adults are practical, of course. Adults are looking for help and mentorship. Adults are open for modern ways of learning. And adults want to choose how they learn. So, kailangan to i-consider when you provide learning o kung trainer ka, dapat alam mo na mas gusto ng mga adults na experiential yung learning, sila mismo nakakapag-share ng ideas nila, ng experiences nila, and dapat clear sa kanila yung goal ng training para mas involved sila. And meron ding alam na yung pumunta yung ano diyan, yung mga learners nang may alam. So, dapat hindi lang yung learner o yung trainer yung nagpo-provide ng information. Dapat yung mga ano din, yung mga empleyado din or yung mga attendees din ng program na yon or kung ano mang intervention ibibigay, dapat may mutualism na nag-share si trainer, nag-share din yung learner. Okay? And then, very practical yung mga adults. So, dapat alam nila, saan ko ba ito magagamit? Kasi pagka hindi nila alam kung saan magagamit yung learning, hindi nila yung pinag-aaralan. Pagka hindi enticing sa kanila, pagka hindi relevant, nawawala yung ano nila, yung interest nila to learn. And of course, adults, kahit na sabi nga natin, meron silang self-directed na sila, they can be motivated, pero importante pa rin na may mentor sila, nabibigyan sila ng support, na bibigyan sila, nako-coach din sila on how to perform tasks or yung work nila. And yun nga, ngayon, nowadays, dahil ano na tayo sa technologies, no, sobrang exposed na tayo, yung mga tao, gusto na nila ng modern way, ayaw na nila ng puro lecture lang, ayaw na nila ng reporting lang, gusto nila ng other way on how to learn things. Marami ng paraan, marami ng methodologies. So, we have to explore these methodologies para mas madaling matuto yung mga adults. And, ngayon nga, with that, kino-consider natin yung style of learning ng mga learners. So, pagka nagpa-facilitate tayo ng learning, dapat na-consider yung style ng mga learners. Okay? So, that concludes chapter 3. But before that, since napag-aralan natin yung mnemonics, yung verbal information for retention, for easier retention, mas madaling natututunan pagka may pattern, may acronym. So, I also created an acronym or mnemonic for the word learning. So for easier retention lang din, ano ba dapat yung characteristic ng isang tao para mas madali siyang matuto, para mas mag-grasp niya yung learning. So a person should love learning. Dapat sa sarili niya, gusto niyang matuto, mahal niya yung pagkatuto. Hindi siya nasasawa na matuto. And he has to be enthusiastic sa learning process. Dapat nandun yung yung excitement, energetic, ayan, dapat attentive din sa mga ituturo, dapat naka-focus ka, you have to be ready, you have to prepare yourself, ano yung mga possible na gagawin ko dito, ano yung mga efforts na kailangan kong gawin para talagang matuto. You have to be neutral in a sense na sometimes kasi pag may alam tayo, we are insisting the things that we already know. Pero we have to be open for learning. May mga topics na baka may mga bago na, may mga updates na sa learning na alam natin. So, we have to be neutral. Huwag ka muna mag-oppose. Tignan muna natin. We have to validate din, syempre, yung learning na nakukuha natin. We also have to be interested. Ayan. For us to learn easier, you have to be interested of the topic. Kailangan makuha mo yung, ikaw as a learner, dapat ilagay mo yung interest mo para matuto. Kasi pagka hindi pa nga nagsimula, bored ka na ano ka na agad, siniset mo na yung mind mo na bored ka at hindi mo gusto yung learning, hindi ka talaga matututo. You have to be nimble, you have to be witty, you have to be sharp, you have to be keen to details, you have to think quickly. Ayan. And you have to be a go-getter. Kailangan may goal ka kung bakit mo kailangan matuto at ready ka and you are eager to get these goals. Ayan. So that's my personal interpretation of learning, yung characteristics ng isang learner for him to learn fast and easier. So here's my assignment for every one of you. You also have to create your own acronym or your mnemonic of the word learning. Okay? So, it has to be, of course, something related with the topic. So, kunwari, gusto nyo din ng ano ba yung characteristics ng isang learner para mas matuto or ano ba yung mga kailangan ma-consider sa environment para matuto, anything that has to do with learning. So you have to think of your own concept and you have to think of your own acronym for easier retention and easier remembering of the words and the theme that you have chosen. So that's my assignment for you. You have to submit it on the Google form, Google Classroom of your respective section. So again, thank you for joining me in this session. See you to the upcoming sessions about training and development. Okay, God bless and enjoy the rest of the day.